Hello, Catamounts. My name is Alexander Hoffman, and this is Chats with Cats, presented by WeTV. In this series, we've been interviewing some of our amazing student athletes here at Western Carolina University, but there is another huge part of the game day experience that we like to highlight. Today's guest is Ainsley Briggs, Media Chief for the Pride of the Mountains Marching Band. How are you, Ainsley?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. Go ahead and please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in the band.
So as you've already said, I'm Ainsley. I am the Media Chief for Pride of the Mountains Marching Band. So with that, it's just I coordinate an entire staff of photographers, and I guess technically the videographer, but he kind of does his own thing every now and then. But it's kind of nice because we get to be the full behind the scenes. We get to see everything that's happening. We get to help and be a part of what's getting put up online. There are days where we actually get to help run the social media accounts, which is really, really fun. But a lot of it is just capturing the moments that you're getting at rehearsals, game days, the travel events, and everything like that.
Yeah, and obviously everyone kind of, to some degree, gets that there's a lot of time and commitment involved in being a part of a marching band, especially like POTM. What might some people not realize about the time and commitment involved with POTM media?
We have to be at all the same rehearsals and events every single POTM member has to. But outside of that, we also are taking all of our work home with us. It's homework on top of doing the class work. So we're going home, we're editing for anywhere from like 6 to 12 hours, depending on the events. And that's like throughout the week, at least. If during October, when it's our busiest month, we could have all nicknamed it Bandtober. We probably don't actually feel like we sleep at all because we feel like we spend all of our time editing. So it's a pretty big time commitment, but it's definitely worth it in the end.
And along with that time commitment, what would you say keeps you motivated to get up for POTM media all throughout the very busy seasons?
Just wanting to deliver a quality product, in all honesty. I mean, just getting up and being like, I want to be the one to capture the really fun events, especially when it comes to this upcoming game where it's going to be the senior game and it's going to be the last time some of these people ever perform on the field or ever get to watch POTM perform. It's really nice to be able to capture those moments and just show what they're getting to see, and whether it be even for the first time when we do the first game of the season, it's just nice to capture those emotional moments and be like, I get to put these up on the internet and be like, this is what POTM is all about.
And kind of speaking on those moments, what is one moment with POTM, whether in a game or not, that stands out to you from your time here?
That was a difficult one to think about, but I think the best one will be, it hasn't happened yet, but hopefully this next senior game, because it's my last game working with POTM. But definitely the last season's senior game, because I knew quite a few of the seniors up there. A lot of them I was very close with. And just watching them kind of like, just in this very like emotional way, like kind of cry their way through the last time seeing the alma mater as an active student. It's just really nice to see. And it's kind of one of the standout moments of like, this is truly a culture in and of itself outside of everything in Western. And it's just really nice to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, I remember watching last year and seeing the way the POTM kind of sends off the seniors. That last game it's very touching to watch and very sad. And we also had former Chats with Cats guest Ashley Elliott on that one. But one last question in the band type of questions for the interview. In these interviews, a common theme is the family feel within the teams. How does that look within band, especially considering the size of POTM?
So, the best way to think about like the family aspect of POTM, it's kind of like going to a family reunion. You kind of know everybody there, but you're maybe not as close as certain members. And then you have your smaller groups that you are definitely closer with. But it's nice. It's definitely like a family aspect of like, it's a smaller, tight-knit community. Everybody, like I like to say kind of anybody in POTM would go up to bat for you if you really needed it. So it's kind of nice to have that.
Yeah, and would you say that within the media or even non-marching members as a whole, it's probably a closer family feel?
Oh, no, most definitely. In media alone, like we only have, I think, a total of 7 us this season. So we are very, very close. We're connected outside of POTM, very much in our personal lives. Like we hang out outside of POTM. And then even just the non-marching, we're, again, all very close. And it's just, you build these friendships, and that's how you kind of make these connections in POTM and then outside of it. And like with that, it's just what makes it such a tight-knit community.
Yeah. Before we move into our like student or senior send-offy questions, we are going to go ahead and do our lightning round. So it is just 4 short little questions with some short little answers from you. What has been your favorite class at Western?
It's the wackiest answer you could possibly think of. It's EDM. I think 457 is just called terrorism. It's an interesting one of the emergency management classes we offer. It just kind of teaches you how to be on the like end of what is the word I'm looking for? It's like fighting against terrorism. I can't think of the word I'm looking for anymore. But it's kind of nice to just like learn the ins and outs of like how Homeland Security would process all of these things, and especially for wanting to go into the working world where that is kind of the side of stuff you do.
Yeah. Shout out to terrorism class, very specifically the class, not the concept. If you could add any popular song or artist to the halftime set, what or who would it be?
I mean, honestly, this show, I really like how it's structured and set up. So, like, I really wouldn't change this one, except for the fact, like, of the part of Defying Gravity we play in part 4, I'd probably change the part we play. But other than that, I'm kind of happy with how the show's set up right now. So there's really no changes or ads or anything I'd personally want to make.
What about in a future potential one? What would one?
I don't even know, because I like so many different types of music that having to pick one to be put into the show just doesn't seem feasible to me. So kind of anything, whatever Matt wants to cook up and put on the field.
Wide genre ranging show is what it sounds like. What is your favorite section to get pictures of during the games?
The non-marching section. So, I mean, but that includes our staff members, our drum majors, all of our non-marching staff. They're doing a lot more of that behind the scenes stuff, whether it's putting equipment on the field, taking it off the field, or just kind of having those moments. So like a few of our non-marching staff members, they are all seniors this season. So it's going to be really nice with this upcoming game to see them getting to do all of these things for legitimately the last time. So.
Absolutely. And last lightning round question, what is your favorite post-game meal?
Really weird question. But probably Sonic or Cookout. I don't really know what I'm going to get at either one of those, but something warm and quick that I can probably take back to my house and then not do anything further than that, than just eat it.
Fair enough. Cookout is a staple of this town. We are going to move back into the normal questions, the student and senior send-off type questions. What are you studying and what made you choose that major?
So I'm a double major with criminal justice and emergency and disaster management. I chose it just because like I was kind of interested in the concepts of criminal justice, the more legal systems. And then as I got into that program, they talked about how you can double major with EDM. And I realized that I really like a lot more of what the EDM department has to offer job-wise when it comes to after graduation. And so I ended up kind of just doing both. And then here I am now about to be done with 2 bachelor's degrees. And I think it's like 30 days at this point.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Right.
Yeah, those 2 majors end up going together a lot. So that does make sense. And a topic that's been brought up more and more recently is mental health and how important it is for student athletes within the show. I'd like to hear your thoughts on mental health and it's important for members of marching band, whether non-marching or marching.
Mental health in any aspect is really important, but especially on the field, your mental and your physical health go hand in hand. And so if you're struggling mentally, you're not going to be able to put as much effort into the field, especially for like marching members. Like obviously I don't march, but I did for a while before joining the media staff. And so having that concept of like, if you're not mentally prepared to go into this, you're going to end up getting yourself physically hurt. Maybe not noticeably hurt, but you will start to feel the aches and pains after a while. And then even on the non-marching aspect, we do so much outside of POTM rehearsals that it can feel draining. But if you're keeping on top of that mental health and keeping track of it and just trying to stay on top of everything, you realize it's a lot easier to kind of go through with everything and just focus on and keep going.
Yeah, definitely very important to keep that as a focus, whether you are going to be playing a sport on the field or playing an instrument on the field. Very important. And then last question before we get to our wrap-up question, what kind of impact would you say POTM has had on you as a college student or in general?
As a college student, it's introduced me to some of like my closest friends that I've had. It's put me in these tight-knit circles of people that I'm probably going to be friends with until the day that I die. And that's really the biggest impact. It's taught me how to maintain professionality while also being able to maintain personal relationships with these people and kind of knowing where to draw the line of like, I am your friend versus I am your boss right now. And then also on the aspect of like just how to be a professional and network with people. Because like I work with outside band organizations when we host our Tournament of Champions event. I work with our directors and all of our staff members. And so just doing that and just having to maintain that professionality in it, it's really nice because it's taught me how to just be a professional in this world.
I do think that that's a pretty common thing for both marching band and for athletes to get is that professionalism aspect, especially because, like you said, you're dealing with so many people with TOC and different events like that. But like I said, last question to wrap it all up. If you could give yourself at the start of your journey with POTM one piece of advice, what would it be?
This is a weird one. There's a couple different things that come to mind, but the number one is just keep your head up and it's going to get better no matter what happens. Because I mean, with it, you're doing so much extra work, and sometimes the days it'll feel like this doesn't really feel worth it some days, but then you just realize I'm exhausted and I needed a break. And then once you get that break, or at least once I got that break, I realized I'm like, okay, I still love this organization. I still love everything that I do for it. And so I just kind of literally just need to keep my head up and keep going on with everything that's happening. And then it all kind of turns out okay in the end.
Yeah. Along with that, what would you say to those interested in pursuing media or POTM at all?
It's worth it. I mean, do it. Just make sure it's something you're comfortable with. It never hurts to put yourself out there. You kind of got to get your toes wet to figure out what you want to do in the world. And like me, I don't want to do anything with media after graduation, but like this was a nice kind of outlet to distract myself from homework and other things. And it gave me all those friends, but like it's definitely a good organization to be a part of. And like it does give you those friendships, that tight-knit kind of family type community. And it's a good opportunity to have for anybody that joins.
Awesome. And those are some good words for potential future POTM marching band members. But that is going to wrap up the interview. Thank you, Ainsley, for coming on the show.
And thank you.
Of course. We'll see you next time, and go Cats.